Hey there YouTubers! If you are a composer or a music producer, you might have come across a music company called Taxi, the self-proclaimed world's leading independent A&R company. My name's Michael, I'm a professional TV composer, and in this video I'll tell you what Taxi do and help you figure out if they are right for you. Now, I've previously been a member of Taxi. I've also worked with a company who used Taxi to source tracks from composers. And I've been to their Road Rally conference in LA and spoken to loads of their members in person. So I'm in a unique position, I feel, of being able to give you very much a 360-degree view of what they do. Also, if you are thinking of joining them, or you are already a member, I'll tell you how you can get your first year with Taxi or your next renewal with them completely for free. Plus, I'm going to give you 4 submission secrets directly from successful Taxi composers, which could drastically increase your chances of success on their platform. All this coming up. For great insider tips on writing production music for music libraries, TV, film and games, subscribe to the Music for Income channel and hit the bell to be notified when we post a new video each week. I'm Michael from Music for Income. As I say, I'm a professional TV composer and I also run a production music library. So I'm here to help break down the company Taxi for you. So what we're going to cover in this video is who are Taxi and what do they do? How does it work if you join them as a member? Can they really get your music onto film and TV and earning royalties? Is it worth the money? Submission secrets as to how to succeed when writing music for their clients, plus how to get 1 year's Taxi membership or your annual renewal with them completely for free. So you'll see I've put a chapter marking on this video. So if you're already familiar with Taxi and what they do, then you have the option of skipping ahead to the submissions secrets. But for everybody else, let's dive in. So Taxi were founded by Michael Laskow in 1992. So this is currently their 30th year in business. Taxi have relationships with different record labels, publishers, music libraries, and film and TV music supervisors, and detail music requirements from those companies in their listings, which, if you are a member, you are able to pitch your music to. Taxi used to be a little more geared towards songwriters wanting to get record deals, and whilst you still might find a few of those opportunities out there on their website, Taxi are now much more associated with music licensing for film and TV. This can be whether you write instrumentals or full songs with vocals and lyrics. Now, this move by them to music licensing is no big surprise, as this area has become one of the big places where composers and music producers can make great money from their music. Now, by the way, if you're completely new to music licensing, check out this video for an excellent beginner's guide to how it all works. Taxi's unique selling point is that by submitting music through them and harnessing their relationships with these companies, your music becomes solicited as opposed to cold contacting companies and trying to find out who needs what music. To join Taxi is $299 for a 1-year membership or $199 if it's a renewal. As mentioned, for that you get access to their current listings plus 2 free tickets each year to their Road Rally convention in Los Angeles. Now, as a side note, in a nice touch of transparency, you can actually see all current listings before you join Taxi. To do that, just go to www.taxi.com/industry. So there's no danger of you being sold into something where you don't know what the opportunities are going to be like or if any of them will be right for you. Now, Taxi will also email you listings. The listings are very clear and will often include info such as detailed information as to what the company in question is looking for, clickable links to reference tracks to help you hone down the sound of what these companies actually want, whether the deal is exclusive or non-exclusive, so basically if you can then use that track elsewhere or not, information about the deal should you be successful, and of course the deadline to send the track in by. When you upload a track to Taxi to submit to a listing, you'll pay a $5 submission fee for every track you send in. Now, this is where most people get a little bit angry or antsy initially, because after all, many say, you've already paid your $299, why are you being asked to pay an additional $5 per track? Here's what Taxi say. Does Taxi have a submission fee? Yes, $5 per submission. If we had no submission fee, most of our members would pitch every piece of music they have for every one of our opportunities, and that would overload the entire system. The submission fee is nominal, but it really helps our members focus on pitching the right music for the right opportunity. Does Taxi split the submission fees with the companies requesting the music? No, we think that practice is highly unethical. We also think it causes companies to create fake opportunities or listings just so they can collect their share of the submission fees. We've actually found our listings copied and pasted onto other sites, typos and all. Why would we want to give your hard-earned money to companies that steal listings from Taxi without even knowing who the music is supposed to go to? So now, before you make your final judgment about the $5 submission fee, also consider this. Your track, when pitched, doesn't go straight to the client. It goes to a Taxi screener first. Taxi screeners are real industry professionals, not interns or assistants. Again, in a nice touch of transparency, they even list some past and present staff from their A&R team on their website. So, once your track gets submitted, it goes to a screener with relevant experience within that genre. Your track either gets forwarded to the client who ran the opportunity or gets rejected. But one of the most useful aspects of Taxi is that you get written feedback on your track. Now, granted, it's usually only one or two sentences of feedback, but many people who have a gripe with Taxi are people whose tracks have got rejected, and instead of seeing that as a chance to take on board the feedback and get better, they just feel kind of hard done by. Now, listen, I understand the argument that this is only one person's opinion when we're talking about one of Taxi's screeners letting your track through to the client or not. But it is an industry expert's opinion. Plus, if your music really is on target for an opportunity, Taxi have no interest in letting it slip through the net. So, to illustrate this point in another way, let me switch hats for a second. As I mentioned at the start of this video, I've also worked for a company who used Taxi to source music. So thinking from that perspective, if the standard of what came through for us hadn't been consistently high, would we have continued approaching Taxi for more music in the future? No. Now, was every track that came through to us from Taxi an absolute winner? No, of course it wasn't. But this happens at every stage of the music industry. We most probably turned down tracks from Taxi that our clients may have loved, and our clients may have overlooked great tracks to have put on their films and TV shows. But overall, in time, the cream will rise to the top. Regardless of whether it's via Taxi or elsewhere, you've got to get good at what you do, and then you will succeed. It doesn't matter how good your friends and family might say your music is, the market will show you in a pretty ruthless way whether your tracks are ready yet for commercial success. Put another way, if your music isn't ready, doors won't open. If it is, they will. Now, I'll give you some tips a little later as to how to really stand out with your submissions to taxi listings, and also a great resource to learn how to write flawless tracks for film and TV. But for now, let's move on to the next important question. Taxis say that typically 4 out of 10 members get something forwarded to their clients each year, with 6% of members scoring a deal from that each year. Now, with the deal part of that, that's just the people who reach out to Taxi and let them know that they got a deal from a listing. Now, you can check out their success stories, all 44 plus pages of them, at taxi.com/transmitter/deals. And I can tell you myself, these are absolutely real people. I've met a bunch of them in person at Taxi's Road Rally convention, as well as having some come to me for mentor sessions, and others having been through my Library Music That Sells training program. Now, if you keep your quality high and know what you're doing, you absolutely can make money from the opportunities that come from Taxi. What's more, you can also forge relationships with their clients who will reach out directly to you to contract your music that was forwarded that they liked. So there could well be future work there as well, and that's directly with you as opposed to through Taxi. Keep in mind though, that once Taxi forward tracks to a client, Taxi don't pester them to listen to those tracks, which makes sense, right? Now, the flip side of that is that you'll only hear from the company Taxi forwarded the music to when they are ready to contract your track. Now, if that company have a large backlog to get through, it might be several months before you hear a yes or a no on whether they intend to contract your music. Unfortunately, there really isn't much that can be done about that from Taxi's end of things. I'd give it a few months, and if you haven't heard anything by then from the company in question, just start assuming that the track is free for you to pitch elsewhere. Yes, they might get back to you and you might have then signed it elsewhere, but that's just one of those tough situations where, you can't really wait forever. One last thing to note as well, Taxi never take a commission from opportunities they land you. So once they've forwarded a track, that's the end of their involvement. Okay, so after chatting to many successful Taxi members, I've consolidated a little list of secrets that I have been told by them as to how to really increase your chances of a forward through Taxi. Now, this isn't comprehensive, of course, but hopefully there's 1 or 2 little gold nuggets in there for you. So check these out, and then afterwards, I'll give you my honest opinion of Taxi, and as promised, where to get your year's membership for free. So here are the useful little nuggets. 1, always tag your tracks. Now, if you don't know what meta tagging a track is, then watch this video that I'm putting a card link to on screen now. Now, MP3 files are best for this. Don't fall down that worry hole of quality that, oh my God, MP3, is it good enough quality? It should be WAV files. High quality MP3 files are fine, and they are super taggable. Music supervisors love meta tags. Plus, if your track gets separated somehow once it's got to the client, you're still covered as all the information is within the MP3. So use ID3 tags to include your name, your phone number, including your country code, the key of the piece, BPM, instrumentation, mood, genre, and who controls the right, which will be 100% you most of the time unless you have a co-writer. Now, number 2, make sure your music really is broadcast quality. Broadcast quality are 2 words that you will see on pretty much every Taxi listing. But what does that actually mean? And how do you know if your track is broadcast quality? This is where the reference tracks that Taxi give you come in so useful. You need to ask yourself the question, can I pretty much match the quality of these tracks with mine? Now, if the answer is no, save yourself some time and continue searching through the other listings for music that you can match the quality of. 3, you really need to know about structure. Do you know what an edit point or a hit point is? Do you know what a 3-act trailer structure is? Or what a button ending is? See, Taxi's briefs will almost always tell you the structure required, but the reference tracks will be there more as a sonic guide, not as a structure guide. Knowing about structure for high-end library music tracks in general will pay dividends, as you can include some of these other tricks and tips into the Taxi submissions, as long as you are still sticking to the structure that is asked for by Taxi and their client in the brief. Now, I'll give you a really amazing resource to learn all about track structure at the end of this video. Number 4, the brief is everything. Stick like glue to the brief. Oh my God, this one is so important. Whatever you do in the music industry in terms of composing, when there is a client involved, read the brief before writing a note. Keep reading it whilst you are composing to check that you're still on track. And then when you have your final listen through your piece, read it again and check everything and change anything that isn't on brief. Listen, this whole industry is about sticking to the brief. If you want to go your own way, don't expect to get paid by people who are asking for a specific thing from you. Save your money and do your music as a hobby, or develop it as an artist in your own right. Stick to the length of track they ask for too, to the instrumentation, and stick to the mood. Study the reference tracks really carefully and make a list of the elements that make them really work, so that you can absolutely drill down into the DNA of these reference tracks and make sure that you really get the sound and feel that the client is looking for. So, what are my conclusions? Look, I like Taxi a lot. I've met Michael Vasco. I was interviewed by him on Taxi TV a while back, and you can check out that episode if you want by clicking here. I subsequently grabbed a bite to eat with him too after that Taxi TV interview. Now, I'm not affiliated with him or Taxi, and I have nothing to lose or gain by saying this, but I can tell you from spending most of that day with him that this guy genuinely cares about composers, songwriters, and music producers, and getting those people access to the opportunities that are so hard to come by. Now, from my experience with Taxi, in terms of a company who were receiving music from them, they were professional, they vet the companies first, and they make a real effort to nurture these relationships with music publishers and music supervisors, both on a professional level and by working hard to keep the quality of the music they send through from composers really high. Now, here's the thing. Let's think about getting your music the highest chance of success in getting placed on film and TV. You may well feel that there might be a bit of a gap between where you are and creating music that's really perfect for these companies that Taxi deal with, who license music for use on film, TV, and games. After all, Taxi will give you great and useful feedback on your tracks, but wouldn't it be good to know all about crafting the perfect tracks for film and TV before you go about submitting music through Taxi? So if you already know how to write or produce music in your home studio, and I'm talking about instrumental music now, but you want the inside track on how to make that music really stand out and be super usable for film, TV, and games, I've got a really great free resource that I think you're going to love. I spent 2 years compiling my experience as a professional TV composer, as well as someone who's run a successful music library and subsequently heard tens of thousands of tracks, some accepted, some rejected. I also in that time interviewed award-winning TV editors. Now those are the clients of Taxi's clients who select which tracks go on the shows. And I spoke to them about what they look for in a track before they choose it. I also interviewed music library executives themselves, so Taxi's clients, about what common mistakes composers should avoid when submitting music to libraries. Plus, I interviewed a few six-figure-a-year library music composers who actually use quite like kind of winning ideas and techniques regardless of what style of music they're writing in. And I want to give you 3 free lessons from all of this research. The link to this is in the description below, and I guarantee you'll find some stuff in there that's really eye-opening and that you can use instantly to make your tracks better, and it's free. So just click on the link and grab your free lessons. And if you decide that you want to move forward with the full course after watching those free lessons, I will personally buy you 1 year of Taxi membership or your 1 year renewal as a bonus after you enroll. So check out the link below and check out those 3 free lessons to get your tracks really supercharged for film and TV selection. So look, I really hope that you found this video useful. Do let me know any thoughts in the comments below, and check out the other videos on the Music for Income channel. Also, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell to get notified of further videos. I'll catch you next time.